All right, it is time for our first hot topic, and you may need a cocktail when we talk about this one. Did you see the Florida governor's debate last night? It was a doozy. Candidates Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum took shots at each other throughout the entire debate. Analysts say the primary issues became alleged racism and corruption rather than the issues of the state. DeSantis painted his opponent as a corrupt and extremely liberal politician. Gillum cast DeSantis as an extremist who encourages racism. Tempers were lost. The moderator ended up in the line of fire and was accused of stoking that fire. So undecided voters were not given much to help them make a decision. I listened to a lot of political analysis in the morning, and everybody was so disappointed that is all we could get from giving two people the chance to say what they would do for our state.
Because we've got matters of health care and guns in schools, all that sort of thing. We need to know the real thing. And it disappoints you in that person. Adults behaving badly. Is that what we want for a governor?
They could have done that after the show.
Exactly.
And give us the real issues when they had that kind of presence on camera. So I missed it. I didn't see it, so I'm going to go find it somewhere. So
I do. If you did not see it, and I know I didn't feel like it was very well publicized. It was in Davie, but it was aired throughout the entire state. So it is definitely out there. But boy, for every hour of chat, there was 30 seconds of actual meat. It was just a lot of mudslinging. I mean, some corruption allegations came out this week. There's been talk of racism concerns throughout the campaign. But the bottom line is, what are you going to do to continue our job growth? What are you going to do to help the people who desperately need health care in our state? How are we helping people come back from the devastation of the hurricane this year?
You know what, Nate? They need a producer that will say, okay, let's do a show that will be entertaining and informative. You talk about this and you talk about this, and don't talk to each other badly.
Okay, that's
it's not good stage.
I'll go into a workshop and kind of figure
it kind of help them out.
Like a comedy workshop.
Yeah, there was a lot of theater. It was just the wrong kind of theater. So a performance of Mahler's Fifth Symphony led to mayhem after some audience bad behavior in Sweden. A concert goer reaches for a piece of gum, and the rapper kind of rustled noisily. So a man sitting near her smacked the pack of gum out of her hand onto the floor.
Oh my God.
Now it seemed to end there until at the end of the piece, the woman smacked the glasses off the face of the gum thrower. Then her date got involved and threw a gut punch. Do people not know live concert etiquette rules anymore? Now, I am not condoning the smack the gum out of the woman's hand, but you can't be going like this in the middle of Mahler's, quiet second movement.
I don't know if they do that at musical concerts, but at the theater, we always announce, please unwrap your candy or gum before the show starts. So hopefully most people will take, note to that and not still go after it.
You know what, though, the other night when we were at a concert, I got my purse up to get my cough drop out, and I was rattling around, and the lady next to me gave me a dirty look, and then I realized I had her purse instead of mine.
So it wasn't the candy wrapper that was the problem.
And I'm glad she didn't hit me.
That's right. After that story, you can be glad she kept her hands to herself. So they say what is old is new again, but is there too much of it? A survey says that we're getting bored of remakes and reboots, and I've heard Linda say this.
Oh, yes.
A survey from The Hollywood Reporter and Morning Consult says that 75% of viewers like a reboot of a show when the old stars come back from where they left off. 51% are not interested in a new cast or new storyline. And a former Fox and NBC exec says that audiences are getting wise to the network exec tricks. They're not going for a new coat of paint on old favorites. When those famous casts do come back for beloved TV shows, interest is high. Things like Home Improvement, Friends, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Nate, do you run into this in the theater too? I mean, I know we're going to talk about a reboot today, but one that was asked for.
Right.
Linda asks all the time, why do we see redos of classic shows more than we see new shows?
The producers are going for something tried and true, that had a lot of success, back in the day.
For financial reasons, you think?
Yes, that's why they do revivals on Broadway. They know if we do Oklahoma, more than likely it'll go well, or some of those shows that were major hits back in the day. A lot of the television things, though, a lot of those sitcoms are based on the cast. The success of those shows, you got to have that right character. So to recast a remake of a sitcom is almost total failure, because the audience has, grown to love whoever that Even Roseanne, when she came back, you know, her audience came back.
Absolutely.
Because of her, the
Yes.
woman herself. So they have to be very strategic when they're doing that reboot. It's all about how you plan those things. But it's always about, well, we don't want to do too much too new because we don't know if it's going to make it. We'll go with something that, you know, kind of tried and true.
Do you struggle with that in your mind as you plan a season?
I do. Casting is extremely important to the success of the show. You know, Raisin that we have on stage now, one of the main things people are raving about is the cast, because they're like perfect on that stage and they work so phenomenal together. And we'll talk about Sheldon later, about how he is such a special part of the success of this show that we brought back. This is the third time because the audiences ask for it.
That's the Marvin Gaye show that we're going to talk about later. Well, I was interested in that because I know both Linda and I kind of feel like, all right, here's the offerings. Gosh, I've seen half of those. But it would be with a different cast in many cases.
Like Sound of Music. I don't want to see it again. I've seen it a million times. But if they took the next step, okay, what happened after they got married? Okay, show me how when they got married, how they handle all those kids, all the crazy things that happened, and the kids growing up. I wouldn't mind that.
Right. On the other hand, Oslo's doing Music Man, and I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there is some
but
tried
it's
and
a different
true.
twist.
Right.
It's not the same old Music Man.
And that's what we like. So they say if you fail, try again. Does that apply to the Titanic? Apparently, yes. A $500 million replica of the Titanic is getting ready to embark on its maiden voyage. The ship will feature the same cabin layout as the original Millionaire Special. This time, though, modern navigation tools. Good idea. And better lifeboats. The Titanic 2 set sail from Dubai in 2022, and it will follow the original route from Southampton, England to New York. Okay, I just got chills when I saw the inside of that because this freaks me out on some level.
Okay.
Would you be comfortable and feel good about experiencing this, or would there be something creepy?
I would like to go on it, but still I think, you know, you think about the people that died there. That's not funny.
No.
And it's not something that we should take lightly. I would like to see if that journey could be made, because they said the original one wouldn't sink either. So they're saying the same thing.
But they also didn't have navigation tools to see deep undersea icebergs like we obviously do now, because that route gets sailed now. So it's not that they can't sail the route. There's just something a little creepy to me about that.
I took a trip to Las Vegas not too long ago, just to get a break, and I went to the Titanic exhibit. Now when you go, they give you a card with the name on it. At the end of the exhibit, you check the board to see if you survived.
Oh my gosh, talk about creepy.
Oh, wow.
So when they gave me the card, I was walking through the museum, I was thinking, this is kind of really creepy. So then you go to that board and you kind of look up hesitantly, and I was watching for my name, and I made it.
All right.
Oh, good.
I survived.
You must have been on the upper echelon floor.
I was.
Well, that's why you survived.
And I was like, yes, I made it. But it was kind of like, oh my God, what if I had found out I had drowned?
I do wonder if they'll have trouble, and I mean, I would think not, but selling the cabins at the lower level, because anybody that knows the story well knows that, you know, those that were bunked down did not get out. That is who, you know, unfortunately died.
I would think the relatives of the people who died would object to this.
I don't know.
And the exhibit.
I've actually seen the exhibit because it travels, although not to the extent that you did. But yeah, there's something about this that irks me a little bit. I just want to see what happens.
Halloweenish.
Just a little bit.